All right. So I'm happy to get you out of here. Yay or nay? Okay, so should we go out of order? Favor? Aye. Great. What I circulated are slides, but I print them out. We decided a few months ago we began to think about doing a community meeting and realized that our discussion around what we would do and how we would structure it was kind of unfocused, and came to the conclusion that we needed to take a look at what our mission statement was. Over the years since the Energy Committee was formed, it has been focused on the town buildings, which is what the committee was asked to do, updating the lighting, the heating system, insulation, solar power, and that work is still going on. We're still working on the library and fire station and the new health center, but you know, those projects should be completed this calendar year. And as you all know, we had gone through this program through the Department of Energy that produced a sort of a concept of creating a overall plan to for the energy on the island. That was the ETIP, the original ETIP program, which proposed setting up a series of microgrids that were networked but could be isolated, which would provide some resiliency in the event of power outages and would require developing storage. So this was a concept essentially plan, and as you know, we just submitted another grant that would provide technical assistance to create a more detailed, more of a real plan. And so we just thought that the mission statement of the committee should be updated. Now, the committee, of course, operates under the select board, so this is a proposal to the board for your consideration. And what I circulated here is the current mission statement, which is to explore ideas and develop proposals to present to the select board of the town of Islesboro relating to the best options that address the energy needs of the town. The ideas and proposals will be made available to support efforts towards sustainability among the entire island community. And basically, we just look to make something a little bit more focused. And as I said, the next page was things that we have done. So began to come into home energy assessments, the window dressers program that helped reducing heat loss in the winter. Now the draft of a new mission statement that we came up with is in our gave you, which was to say the mission of the Islesboro Energy Committee is to help the town and residents of Islesboro reduce the cost of energy, improve energy efficiency, and increase the resilience of Islesboro's energy systems to change climate impacts. So it's just a little bit more focused. And then we listed some of the things that we hoped to do. These are things that are sort of in the works. This town EV charger, not at the town office, but in the parking lot over there. Community events. We're planning another window dressers event. That's where it's sort of like a community event where they build window frames with plastic coating to help reduce heat loss. And also to pursue, as I've said, additional funding for planning microgrid infrastructure. Success would be measured by doing cost comparisons, energy use comparisons says, town funding, has funded primarily the projects we've done in the municipal buildings. The thought would be to try to get outside funding for some of these other things, the grant applications. So, the only other additional thing was that, as part of this grant that we've just done, it calls, and it's all part of the same thing, but it calls for creating what's called a community energy resilience plan, which again is a detailed plan for how the community will, goes along with other resilience efforts to maintain energy availability in the event of extreme weather, multiple outages, and so on. But we're going to be working on a more detailed plan. Hope to have something to present to the town maybe by next spring. But so the mission statement is a proposal. As I said, it's a draft for you folks to think about and we hope approve, but you can modify it if you see fit. So
I like it. I mean, I think it's clear, concise. I agree with Shay.
I wonder, Harry, in the revised mission statement, you just mentioned something about durability or the ability to accommodate. I mean, the resilience allows for energy system,
right,
and it seems like probably an issue that I have noticed, and I'm sure other year-round residents notice, is the power goes out very frequently. And often, when there are sneezes, it goes out. Like I think 2 days ago, my generator.
And it's happening more frequently, and of course that's one of the things that we've emphasized in the grant applications. In fact, I think Prescott even pulled out, a record of, the number of outages, how long they lasted for. So we provided some of that data in the application for exactly that reason. The idea would be to have these microgrids, which really are, would have some storage associated. So if power goes out here, maybe your end of the island would still have power. Right now it tends to be, if it goes out, where the main line is, everybody's out. So that's sort of one of the thought processes.
And that sounds great. And I'm not
But that's kind of what
being critical. I'm saying minutia of how to address those problems is in a way saying the fact that it seems like CMP, the power is coming from, we're kind of a low priority here. The tree falls down in Northport.
which actually means that we've got support from CMP for the grant applications. It actually takes a little bit of, if we were successful, it would take a little bit of burden off of them. But that's kind of included. I mean, this is just sort of the overarching purpose, and then, individual tasks be developed from this. So that was.
So I'm late to the table. I'm not trying to be critical, but the resilience of Islesville energy systems implies, I guess, that we're talking about how to maintain
Yes.
uninterrupted consistency.
Yes.
It seems like
Now, if you wanted to propose
saying that
resilient to resilience of, we could modify it, resilience of Islesboro energy system and ability to.
well, I just add the word consistent and resilient Islesboro systems. And I don't think it really has any much to do with climate impact. It has to do with the way it is.
Right. The climate impact, I think, has to do with the fact that we have more severe storms and storm surges.
So, do you have any idea, are you guys tracking the number, the charger over the center, the center? usage on that?
Yes, Bill Thomas has been tracking that pretty closely.
Because,
I mean, the new one, of course, we have.
yeah, I'm not a fan of, like, that's an individual, almost gift for having a charger like that. Let me finish my point. And then, what you're talking about on your vision statement is great about something that like, the community benefits from, the consistency of it. But spending any money on these chargers, where, I mean, I drive past that thing almost daily. I'll see occasionally some people.
You don't have the one at the ICC.
Yeah, to spend any more money to install another one, where someone doesn't have to use their power to charge their car, to me, is not appropriate. So I just wanna,
Well,
just.
it would be,
So,
what we would set up there would, people would be charged. People would pay
okay, well,
for
and
the,
if they pay, and the charge includes setting it up, you know, I'm fine with that. But
well,
just so, just nothing
Yeah.
is discussed, just keep that in your mind, cause I just.
that money has already been allocated for the purpose of putting that charger up. I mean, that's an ongoing project.
Okay,
The money has already been allocated, so if the board or the town wants to change that, of course, they can.
I didn't know that was already pre-approved.
Isn't it true that the chargers are faster, more efficient?
Well, there are different levels of chargers. So level one is, you know, your home outlet. Then there's level two, which is kind of, so if you have a fully electric car, it can take like 13 hours with a level one, maybe 4 or 5 with a level two, and maybe like 20 minutes with a level three.
What's the one at the
So
community?
it's gonna be level two. And that's what.
So to Steve's point, it could be done at home too, if you upgraded.
Right, I mean, there
I
are,
think they don't, I could get, if I had an electric car, I could get faster charging, put in more amps and.
yeah, you have to buy the level,
Right.
that level charger. You can't just plug it in.
Thank you. That's all.
Oh, one other thing that we wanted, we were hoping, I don't know if it's too late, to put in a blurb under, in the Looking Good, Looking Ahead Islesboro document.
Not too late.
Not too late. Okay, who's
So,
it?
me,
You, okay. So if we send you something,
Steve Pendleton, on the house.
okay.
Thank you. Do you want a motion? I mean, I think,
Up to you guys.
Sounds great.
we approve the new mission statement.
Aye.
Second?
Sorry, sorry.
All right, there, aye,
Yes,
okay.
that's on the way out, and she approved it.
We just, we're voting highly approved. Excellent. Thank you. It's unanimous. Thank you very much for coming in.
You're adding consistency,
Assistant.
increase the consistent resilience.
Consistent and resilient.
System,
I think had 2 seconds of that, sorry. See if that.
Well, it's not a climate change. I mean, everywhere that it's big, free fall on a power line, you're done.
All right, should we go back into order? So moved. All right, all in favor? Aye. Okay, ferry service update. I know we all saw an email that Commissioner Van Dook is retiring, so it sounds like his deputy is being recommended to take his place at least for now.
Dale Dark.
But I don't have any further update from Peter Wilcox. Good for him. I have no sea level rise update. There's questions? Right, Up Island Public Safety Garage update.
Carrie, you're on. Thank you. this is really an update on committee itself, renovation. So, you have this in this handout, right? See this handout?
Yeah.
Okay. So, starting with the renovation. The charts were moved. They're boxed out of the facility. So, that's good. And so, because of that, the contractor is able to start fairly soon. That was the information I was given. Correct me on anything that's I misstated. And people were talking about, I know Mr. You asked me on the budget the last time, and I said I would get that stuff. But the budget for the renovation is 100K. All right. And it's going to be in phases. The reason why we're phasing it because we don't know the exact amount of money that's still available after the health center, and that's still fluid because there's some issues that need to be addressed there. But so there's a firm fixed price for 100K on those the renovation and the phase one change the lock switch. We got a notification today. So the locks were changed. The alarm needs to be done. Obviously painting, refreshing the floors in the offices and the waiting area. The evidence room is included on that, and then the ADA compliance requirement, which we talked about previous week on the grant, those type of things. So it's 100K. That's what we're working on right now. And that's, from a renovation standpoint, that's the focus. And as soon as we get through that, we will begin to look at what money's available as that's being worked on, and we will look at phase two and determine the priority. Questions on that? Okay. Up on the safety garage. We received the final quotes on that, and we are at the number still 414. I did not get the final number on the change for the backup generator, changing it from propane. We're going to put that in as a change of contract, but it'll be below the $430,000 that we approved to spend on it the previous week. So we approved that, and we got all sorts of information yesterday and today as far as from Northford as far as getting the contract started, so we could start. I'll have to get with Janice, so we'll start working on that. And the good news is that we were told by the treasurer controller of the town, who hides money like crazy, that there is money for the well and septic tank, and so we're going to put that in as a change order. We're going to get this thing contract done, but the change order will include that.
That's news to me.
Okay.
I don't know what Brian has found. We won't know until we're done with everything.
Well, he said in our meeting that was available, and he didn't know for sure, but he was
No, it doesn't.
99%.
So we're not done over there.
Right.
Things are popping up.
Yes, they are. So I said, it's a change order, but it looks like, so I'll just say it's close to a positive, but the facility's being built. So we're going to get to the contract. Go one more, please. All I did here was put in, so we received the details. Mark, you asked about this the other day. This is, I printed this out. I can give it to you as we leave, with the whole diagram, everything required, as well as, the line items.
I received the large comments.
Yes, I got one yesterday. I printed it.
half a month ago or
Yeah.
something, that was so big.
Right.
I gave up on it.
So, I'm gonna give you this handout that I printed myself, just as I leave, so you can see if it makes, if it's helpful, great. You know, but we do have all the drawings, and these drawings are issued for construction. This last one we got, so that's what we're going. Yep, and really, I think there's one more slide, but it just is the breakdown. Because again, you asked for a breakdown. I'm just gonna hand this to you, and,
I actually could read this. That's my age too.
that's kind of a line item. That may be a duplicate of what we've already got.
I don't need a magnifying glass.
Right.
So, Michael,
There you go. So the renovation's moving forward, and the up island is forward, and hopefully, I don't think we'll have a contract in 2 weeks, but maybe in 4 weeks. So meeting after next week, and have a contract done.
What's the contingents?
I would say a skosh.
What's that?
Skosh.
So,
Very little. Okay.
so,
Well, on the island, on the up island,
Yeah.
there is some contingency.
never seen construction for, I said, conditions.
What we've worked this down from 1,200,000 to 430 project. No, not me, Lauren, but I'm just saying, we're going on God's field. Right. There you go.
I don't think that we will qualify for this round of the USDA rule because I need more information about what we anticipate the charges will be for like the 88 bathroom and the 88 kitchen. And so, we're,
For the renovation aspect? Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
we were looking, it closes too soon and they actually just upped it and it closes August 7th.
no.
And so when speaking with other members of the group, they didn't think that they'd be able to provide the numbers that quickly. And it was not recommended to guesstimate the numbers because if we're way off or way under, then trying to do the reconciliation with it would be impossible for us to get another grant for it. So we're just gonna have to wait just a little bit. Just in case you're wondering where the grant was.
Yeah, no, and the other thing, and then I just think that we need to get, there are some not significant, there are some things coming up over there, the health center. And like, we wouldn't have even known that until people got in there and started to use it, and then there was recognition of, oh gosh, this thing. I think obviously the same thing's gonna be with the up island. So we need to just pause the spend and allow these facilities to, be occupied and work, and if, so then the real comes, addressing real problems, and then the want to have, like, we want water and septic up there, but there may be need for another heater or a water heater. Just it's okay. Anyway.
Any other questions for Steve? Great. Thank you very much. Upcoming meetings, subcommittee reports, we've got planning for August 11th. Is there any other subcommittee reports? Hearing none. Janet, you're up.
I'm giving you committee minutes from the municipal building project from April 14th, Dark Harbor wastewater minutes from last July, that they just met this July to approve those as
That's what their wastewater.
the committee's doing. The harbor committee minutes of April 17th. I received a check from FEMA for $26,438.73, which I was aware of, and now I'm waiting for a bigger one. 520,000 in that range. So, and actually, I had a call today from someone in Jared Golden's office about because there was something on the listserv about people and getting FEMA money, how difficult it's so slow, which it is. So he wanted to know if Islesboro was in the same boat, and I said yes. So they were going to check into that and see if he can. I said I have received. We're not still going to meetings and filling out forms and all that. So we're in that phase of waiting to receive it.
And this is reimbursement funds for monies that were spent for the storm response.
Right, whether it's basically insurance drive.
Can I ask one quick question on that? So if we get 500, let's say it's 550 total. Does that go into a spare fund to use in the future because we already paid this, or did we expect that and it goes against bills, or how's it allocated?
Yeah, and I'm thinking it goes back into the general fund to pay the overage that we run from this last fiscal year.
Okay. And then what was the overage about? Like 200-300, or was it 500?
Oh, excuse me?
The overage?
I don't know yet because I haven't heard from the auditor, but I mean, we overran those accounts. I mean, one was 500. It was close to $1 million.
Oh, okay.
So those two projects, they kind of fell between two different fiscal years.
Okay. I just wanted to understand.
I pray that comes.
Yeah, no, I knew it worked, but I just didn't know.
The main community foundation where the health center endowment is at $1,677.57. And you know about Governor Mills' announcement about retirement of Bruce Van Note. Barry Bridges, former man. So under old business coming up, the summer info, I think that is not going to happen. Xing that out. And under new business, I had the West Shore Drive open RFPs. We did not receive any.
So, can you just make sure, I talked to Dave about this last week, but does everybody else get the same amount of input that cutback is, and I know we talked about it, if he can, kind of prioritize cutting back as a portion of every week's work, as opposed to, because I just can't tell you how often I hear about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard this time of year, they're mowing, and I'm at the phase where don't worry about mowing.
Well, yeah, at this point, they shouldn't, because everything's done.
But I'm going out of town to look for a company now.
Right.
Also,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not giving up.
No, good.
And Peter Coombs has completed the septic field over there, and it's been sprayed with grass. So in this warrant, there's 90% of the payment. And after the grass grows, I'll pay you back 10%.
How much was that?
It was 44,000. 40.
Did we get quotes on that, or did you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Was that last?
2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks.
Okay.
Almost 3 weeks.
Yeah, all right.
And John Applequist was the other.
Sure.
And weren't they close? I mean,
Yeah, they were like
That's the one they were-
$1,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was amazing. Well, that's reassuring.
Yes, it is. I'm proud of Peter. So that's it for me.
Questions for Janet? Great. Just speaking really quickly about the summer info meeting. I'm not going to be here that day, so that date didn't work. Talking with Pete, and Janet, it sort of seemed like, I guess it's up to you guys. I don't want to universally fix it because we said we could do it last, but it also seemed like there was a lot of, there was nothing burning, that it was like we have done it, so we should do it. nobody has asked for it, so the question is, do we want to we would have to reschedule it. And I feel like we start to get towards the end of the month and people go back to school and it just,
I think they go back to school.
Yeah.
I
So-
yeah. And so,
yeah.
if not, then the teacher's already back in session. I'm not.
No, we're good.
Teachers go back the 26th is the teacher's first day, so that's gonna be in service. It's not gonna be available to us anyways. Because they'll leave the gym and everything all set up. If we're looking at the last week of August.
Right, no, it just seems, without, right, it seems, yeah, like we're shooting for something that doesn't have an urgent need, and so if we can cancel it without hurting anybody's feelings, that's the.
I figured I might not even be able to make the 27th year meeting, because I think that's when we're gonna look at bachelor. Because we do start getting into that.
Yep.
Fun phase of everybody's gonna be gone.
Okay, well then, if there's general agreement for that, then let's, excellent.
Good leadership.
Yeah, excellent.
All right, we have already heard the update on the West Shore Drive, and, maybe this year in 2 weeks, what the thinking is on the next round of planning for that. Next up, approve FY 25 Dark Harbor wastewater sewer rates. Do I have a motion? So moved. Second? Any discussion? Those in favor? Aye. For your signature. Parking at Grindle Point. I know at our last meeting we had the email from Kristen Collins. I just figured we put it on the agenda. Is there any further update or stuff?
Well, several. All good. I had a very, I think, good deal meeting Kevin Watts, and I think understanding town's position. Enthusiastically sanguine about some remaining road. I have public land, abutting his land, that actually address that. Perhaps some landscaping, some park. Just mind you, from our attorney, we have absolute right. Something pass an ordinance that gives the town authority over state right away. That includes the property plus existing steel barrier basin line 3. Also by there's no the end of the yeah, pass an ordinance gives the town control south side of 30 portion access for 30 on north side. barrier installed in our expense along the south side of right. I think also I agree with good. Yeah. That would determine parking issues had nothing like of parking area. Our parking impact access to the area is already rationalized while show satisfied most this no and number of how many days charge for then signage that says this is now town administered property and how do you get a permit office where you're taking just like town parking lot. Very terrible.
Jada, what's your recommendation on the best way to get that mapped out? Because I mean, I agree, it would be very helpful to have a plan, basically in the same way that we have at the, for Grindle Point now, and expand that in a way that lays out how many parking spaces and so really where the
I
parking
think this
is
will be a
available.
new ordinance, and like a park place.
It's ordinance number 3.
Yeah, it's 2 times.
And this would be ordinance.
So, yes, that's the information she needs, what we would charge or how we would
Exactly.
manage
And
it.
I'm absolutely willing to shepherd this through whatever steps are necessary. I just don't know what the steps are.
Um, I don't know if we want a parking.
Same.
No, I mean, I would think that we ideally, Peter could have, with our blessing, the resources to come up with a plan that we could certainly bring to the parking committee
Right.
for
Absolutely.
approval.
That's-
But I think,
One person who's focused.
I think just step back for a moment. 4x4 posts and a barrier marking edge. We're beginning to having this rationalized. Because what's happening right now, he put up signs that say private property, and some of them will run over into the ground as has not asked the town. That's what I offered. His view is just get rid of all the parking. And I said, look, very politely, we had a very convivial, pleasant discussion. I said, maybe in the long term, we can work out a plan to go park somewhere else, but that ain't gonna happen right now. And this land is publicly owned for parking for the most part. And what I'm offering them is to control that so that it does not encroach. Sanguine about that.
So you'd have to decide, what kind of fence.
What's ever
People can-
cheapest and is secure.
But I like Faye's point. Be nice to get this mapped out so we can all see, because I don't know where the public and private begins and ends.
You say that it was 50 feet from the center line
Right.
is what
What,
they claim.
what happened is Dave and I other data that support this, but what found is that roadway paved in the better line and 21 wide. And the right of way is 50. So on each from the right center line to the edge of the pavement, there is another 15 feet.
If the whole road is 50,
Right.
pretty wrong.
So,
So 25 feet.
Yeah.
right. I mean, it looks like 13 or 14 parking spaces, 9 wide. A generous one. So there's plenty of room there to continue on the public line, continue to park parallel to the pavement. And
So instead of
Very
stacking them in like dominoes,
right.
we're proposing going back parallel
Um,
to the road.
the
Is that
part of
what
it,
I'm understanding?
yes, part of it, the current situation is perpendicular.
And that's what
Six
on this
spaces,
property.
and that's what's. I'm not actually sure perpendicularly within the public right of way, but these guys are driving, people are driving up over the mound.
Well, but I do think where it would be helpful to have a map is certainly we could fit more parking spaces there if we can design an area that where you can park perpendicularly. That would be advantageous, I would think, if we have the space to do it.
60 degrees,
Right.
45 degrees, and 50%.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't get into that with Tyler because I didn't want to make it any more contentious. I said, look, we have the right to do this. We want to make it as palatable to you as we possibly can.
So you want me to contact Kathleen Gillespie?
Yes, and I would like to either I'll go over there and
Or just be on,
I'll go over there and meet them, or I meet them out here and we can discuss exactly what. And then what we want from them in addition to the plan is an estimate. I'm sorry, what was the question?
I was just kind of thinking out loud, kind of myself. I was trying to think of other things that we could also do to not sweep, because we're not trying to bribe them.
Accommodate.
Accommodate, just to show good faith and goodwill, and so. Could that be something enough to?
Yeah, I mean, it's an existing right of way, so, yeah, we can talk with the,
Is kind of my thought on it. Because having it as an existing one is you could use it for times as needed, but if we're gonna make it a permanent one with a fence and stuff like that, that would, in my mind, as very firmly relinquish, like, that sets the boundary of, that is where my property ends now. I'm not responsible for anything past it, I'm not paying for anything past it. Anything that happens on the other side of X rose bush is not my problem, and I shouldn't have to pay for anything that happens past that.
Whole concern
While trying to sell it.
of its sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's something.
That's my point about the barriers, not to delineate public and private land. Stop encroachment on your property, which was my idea of having sort of a pot for him.
Yes, no, I agree with you. If we're going to, because to me, it kind of sounds like we're almost trying to do like eminent domain without eminent domain. We're just,
I would like to look and see how the tax maps are drawn before we get too far into the conversation, so.
Yeah.
You really can't even. Have
Yeah.
to look at the deeds.
okay, right, yeah.
And I know the assessor, if you want him, he's not back for 2 weeks.
Okay.
The other question is sort of separate. This box parking limit. My mind, far beyond the sight line. Phillips driving. But anyway,
Yeah, well, and I think this is where a map is helpful
Yeah.
because we need to understand exactly how many parking spaces we are setting forth as a town. And I mean, the reality is that right now we have parking in some parts of Ferry Road, and we have delineated in a variety of different ways where areas trying to discourage people from parking. But the reality is that this right of way has the potential to be further expanded should there be additional parking spaces required in the future. And I think we should,
I think actually, I would say that I'm concerned that if there may be more outside protection. Build the entire edge of Berry Road, gather in people, care. Public, this is just how it impacts Salem lots, period. It's not anything beyond that. And, want to talk about further parking along Berry Road. I would like to
That would
just
be
defer
difficult,
that.
you would have to fill in, because most of it is ditch.
Well,
You could just.
let's, I
let's
feel like
let's
if we
stay
could
with-
start with how many
let's
parking
just-
spaces we have.
Yeah.
But right now, that's,
It's something like 13 existing barriers. It's already paved the barrier there. The only issue with the brick, when there's a third line waiting to restrict access in and out of the barrier. Frankly, I just don't see that as an issue. That's why I'm saying. Instead, specific. I think. anecdote, market, cost, so it seems like I'm not trying to sound punitive about it, but it seems like a for paying for it in Lincoln. In the DOT law there, what's the difference?
Yeah, I personally would support, I mean, I think, I like the idea of having one parking, or like scheduled fees, but not having a different parking rate for one parking lot versus. That's.
Yes. I think, and there's another issue with raising this law. But law is basically.
Not at all, and pave the entire island, we don't need trees or grass or anything. Why would we
I
want
think-
anything that looks pretty?
Okay.
That's the only thing I'm gonna say.
So
So you have-
Let's promoting that.
Right, no.
I'm just saying that
Everybody
going
wants to
through.
suggest it. Okay, so you guys will work together on getting Bartley and Dorsey to develop a plan and.
So they're familiar with the.
Yep. And we can, you'll add this on the agenda, we have a plan, a map, and a draft ordinance.
And also, Kristen.
Thank you. All right, no other business. We need to approve warrant number 3 for FY 26 and accounts payable for FY 25. Do I have a motion? Second? Discussion? All in favor? Aye. No appointment. Sorry. Support. Melissa? Peter?
I'm spent.
All right, motion to adjourn.